Hello everyone. I'm sorry I took so long to get another video up. I've just had a lot of stuff going on lately, so please forgive me for that. And here's my video on some tips and tricks for those of you having trouble with the Me, Myself, and Pi 6x6 mod. Okay, start out with these pieces. For these pieces, I like to start out with a 150 grit sandpaper. What I'll do is I'll fold it in half one way, and then in half the other way. I get this nice thick piece right here. I'll stick it up against the table edge and put the part that needs to be sanded off right on the edge of the table, right there, and then I'll just move it back and forth like that. And then once it gets sanded down, what I'll do is I will take it over to my 400 grit sandpaper, very fine sandpaper, and smooth off the roughness of that by putting it up against the table edge again and just going back and forth real quick. And it should give you a nice smooth piece right there. I didn't really do it on this one, but normally the bump would be sanded off and it would be nice and rounded. And that's how I do those pieces without a Dremel. And for these pieces, to get off the bumps, I take my 150 grit sandpaper again. I will rub it back and forth, sometimes in a circular motion, where I'll just rub it back and forth. And then once it gets sanded off, you gotta make sure it's even on the right here. Sometimes you'll sand down more on like this side or this side, and then you also gotta make sure that it's all the smooth plastic in between is off, and make sure that you don't like sand off like right here too much or on this side too much. So just lift it up, check every once in a while, and go back to it. Lift it up, check. Do it. And once you get all that in between off, I like to switch over again to my 400 grit sandpaper, and I'll just smooth it off real quick. It gets nice and smooth. I didn't do it here, but once it gets nice and smooth, I'll take it back to my 150 grit sandpaper, and I'll just sand off these edges right here so it's not completely flat. I'll just and you gotta tilt it, make sure it's nice and rounded and not just like square corners. Then I'll take it back over to the 400 and just smooth that off. And then if you do this for each side, you'll get a nice smooth piece all around. Now, for the corner stalks, what I like to do is I just take my little tiny pocket knife here, and I'll just take it, hold it there. Now, just scrape it off, back and forth. Make sure you get on the side so it's not just like around there. Blow it off every once in a while. Just keep doing that. And eventually, you'll get something like, where did it go? Where are you? Oh, yes, right here. Get something like this. Nice and rounded. And another thing, Me, Myself, and Pi did not have this, but I like to, just like on the 5x5 V-Cube, there's bumps right here, 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 all the way around to the base. And I'll just take it and I'll take my pocket knife again and I'll just scrape it off. And I can't really do it on camera here, but I'll just take it and scrape, 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 and then once I get it smooth through the whole thing, then you'll have it done. Now, this seems to be the biggest problem when doing the Me, Myself, and Pi, wow, I can't talk. Me, Myself, and Pi mod is keeping those gosh darn pins in. Okay, so the glue I use, first of all, is this, it's called Surehold Plastic Surgery glue, I guess. It comes in this strange little container. When you get it, you take it out of the package and you push down on this yellow tab. It breaks the seal down here, twist it off, and it's a nice clear applicator. You can see the glue come out there. And it just works really well. At first, when it's drying, the glue, like, it almost like turns into like putty type stuff when it's drying, and you can move the pin around, but it feels like it's almost in mud or something. And then after it goes and dries overnight, it'll become harder, and now I can't even move these pins at all. So that works very well. Another thing is, you gotta make sure when you go in the pins, and then once they get dry, you gotta make sure that they're not too long. So I just take this little piece and put it on there and check. Is that too long? No. Is that too short? No. I already clipped that one. But another problem is you might put them in too short, and then the core will still come out misaligned because it'll glide right under these pieces right here. So it'll just slide right under and it won't even do anything. It's useless to have the pins in it. So make sure the pins are long enough, but not too long, otherwise they'll fall out. So that's all I have to say really about tips for this. Sorry it's such a rough edited video. I really don't have time to edit this, so see y'all next video.